Okay. So I am pretty annoyed this morning because I got picked up on the entry at the 33,000 as I said that I would. And then I saw I shouldn't have even looked. I should have just not done anything. But I saw this bullish divergence. So I moved my stop to break even. Although that's also part of my rules is to well, actually, no. Originally, my rule was okay, if it passes the halfway point to target, move my stop to break even, which is what which is what I ended up doing. But I also modified that rule a little bit because I noticed that this was happening a lot. It would just touch my stop loss, my break even, and then accelerate down. And that usually happens because it's the first pullback. So it's like, I get picked up on the order, which was around here. It was very close, and I was it was very close to being even a market order. So I'm in the trade. It makes a new low, which and I'm expecting a pullback, of course, but because of the divergence, I thought maybe a pullback would go beyond. But this is just me miscalculating the divergence. I thought this was gonna happen, honestly, and I was just like, you know what? I don't, I don't know. So this has me quite upset uh, that I bet against myself like that. I should have just left it because it was a mistake of that I made before that I knew what the answer was to not do, but I did it anyway because I got scared of the bullish divergence. Um, the bullish divergence, though, I mean, you can't, what's done is done. We saw the bullish divergence, and now I'm having a similar kind of dilemma where the price made a new low, and so did the RSI. So is it like so now it's a question mark? Is this previous divergence invalidated because it didn't continue to make a new high? A new no, the right way to say that it didn't continue to make another higher low. That's a little bit concerning, but this area is pretty strong, so I do think that the 750 to 3000 would work. Again, I'm hesitant to, and I have the backup order there as well. I'm hesitant to make any kind of sudden moves because I don't like how upset I am right now at this at this the miss of this. And if this were to keep going and stop out both of these trades, I would I mean I would accept it. That's why the trades are there. Um, but I don't really want to be dealing with all of that right now. I think part of it is also that I'm so close to the finish line, and that was such a stupid turnover, so to speak. Like to use a sports analogy, it was like I threw an interception. It feels like I threw an interception, even though it wasn't the worst thing in the world to have a. It's better than losing, right? So it's not the worst thing in the world, but it was one of those moves that like I totally saw coming, and then I did it anyway. Um, I was thinking about it for a while. I was just like, should I move my stop to break even, um, and like fully knowing that like okay, like what usually happens when I do that, if it's not after the first pullback, is that it would uh, stop me out and then hit target. It's like I can, if I were to go back to each one, like the more than half of them, that's what happened. So that's why I kind of stopped doing that. The other reason I kind of stopped doing that is I just don't manage my trades as actively these days because um, I'm busier these days than before. So that has been working in my favor. Like, less is more, less is more. This divergence just kind of threw me off, and I shouldn't have let it throw me off. I should have just stuck to my guns. So like, watch what happens now. Is like these two are gonna, when it rains it pours. Like these two are gonna, get stopped out. It's gonna make a new low. Something's gonna happen on a fundamental level, and it's just gonna piss me off even more. That's usually how trading goes, um, and it's like that's not a good mental state to be in. I don't think anyone's immune to being in a bad mental state. So just being forthright and just talking out my feelings on this particular day right now. Objectively, it's at a quarter. This is a pretty nice zone. If I give it to I could talk my way into this trade. Um, that's not really a problem. This is it's a quarter. It's a rally, or like a, how do you want to phrase this? Like, I guess a rally base, maybe a drop base rally. Um, Not the strongest in the world, but the strength that it flew out from the 750 is promising. Uh, but that alone usually isn't enough. I wanted to see the divergence. Um, I wanted to see, well, and maybe a candlestick formation. Usually I need a divergence and a candlestick formation, but I'm a little early to the party. And so far, being early to the party has worked out before, but this one, I'm down to the 30-minute now. So on the 30-minute, I definitely saw, like, where was where was it yesterday? I think I definitely saw, like, you know um, divergence and then bullish engulfing, and I was like, oops, this is like, let me clear out of this. Let me get out of the way of this. Like, this is what I saw yesterday. And then I moved my stop from here to here, from the 75 to the even, and I was like, oh, let me save myself. All the while thinking, like, I bet you it's gonna just touch it and then go back, because that's what the first pullback usually does. It just touches the quarter, and then it completes the remainder of the quarter. I'm like, I bet you it does that, and of course it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It literally just touched it by 1 point. Oh my god! Like, I shouldn't have looked at that. That just makes me more annoyed. 1 point. 1 point. Like, even if it was just a spread, it would have just gotten that 1 point, and then just clear path down. No resistance whatsoever. Only red candles, almost, except for this one. Only red candles on the 30-minute down to the 750. So annoying. What we have here, though, is hopefully, we have a kangaroo candle print after the divergence. It kind of got invalidated by this, but usually in this situation, um, the the I'm annoyed at the trade management portion of that, of how I responded to this. So the trade management portion is the stop moving the stop to break even, and then missing out on the profit. That part is annoying. However, determining an entry point for this, is the 750 is the right move, right, in the sense that it's consistent with the rules. You have a divergence, and then you take the quarter, the 1 or 2 quarters away, so one of the bands away. So it's like the 825 is right here. That would be the first entry point, but that's too close. So you skip one. and that's always been the way that I do it. So like I call that like cradling it. So like you do a cradle trade, you skip the first one because it's usually not gonna hold up. The one that's closest to it, and then you go for the second one. Um, so and which is convenient in this case because the second one is the strong quarter anyway, not one of the bands, not one of the upper or lower bands. So, uh, if the divergence happened all the way down here, then I would skip the 750 because it's the closest one, and then just take the 675 and then maybe the 575 and hope for the best, right? Just leave two traps after skipping one. So that's the way that I've done it before. When I got super aggressive and just took the close one, that's not worked nearly as often. Cradling it by skipping one has always worked better for me, percentage wise. So right now, that's exactly what I did. I put the 750. Hopefully, this shapes up into a 30-minute kangaroo tail, which is going to close in 12 minutes. I won't be I won't still be here by then. Hopefully, it closes up, and then there's a bullish engulfing candle that forms on top of it, right after it, and then it goes back up to 30,000 to complete the quarter. Very little resistance here. I'm a little bit worried about the 925. A little bit worried. Yeah, that is pretty nice looking. I'm a little bit worried about the 925. I do want to know if it gets near there. Put that alarm, that alert there, to see if I need to, I guess, move stop to break even or take profit early or something. I don't know. I don't really trust myself with trade management right now because I can feel like I'm tilting on this because it's really bothered me. Uh, so I think the lesson in that is there's you have to you got to manage what kind of regret do you want. Do you want the regret of, oh, I got stopped out, or do you want the regret of, oh, I I missed out on profit? And I've always gone back and forth. Usually I want the regret of, oh, I got stopped out. But that this is a an adjustment in the sense that like my win percentage is too low. Long like overall lifetime wise, my win percentage is too low. So I'm trying to increase my win percentage, and this is the price you pay for trying to, I guess, trying to do that in the interim. This is just one trade. This could have easily gone up, and I could have easily been right about it. And maybe this area holds. Like it could have easily gone the other way. But so it's just, this is purely. I don't blame the market. This is purely a mental exercise and a mental test and an emotional test. That part I 100% acknowledge, and like I failed my own emotional test basically because I wanted to manage the regret because I thought I saw something, but I was wrong about my own prediction of how I would feel if this happened. So that's probably another thing to do. And the part that annoys me the most about it is like I told myself that this was probably going to happen, and in the moment it was like I talked myself into, well, losing nothing is still better than getting stopped out, but which is fair to say objectively about the trade itself, but sometimes the trade itself isn't as important as your reaction to the trade. So like my reaction to the trade wasn't worth doing this. So sometimes it's more important to predict your emotional and mental reaction to what's going to happen, which is harder to do than predicting the trade in some cases. In most cases, I'm going to say. In most cases, I think humans in general, I don't think this is just me, but maybe it's just me. Humans in general, I think, are bad at predicting how they'll react to certain dire like situations. They think they'll be they'll react one way, but when it comes time to when that situation actually happens and they're surprised by it or whatever, the the in the moment things are different, and that's kind of what I'm experiencing now. This is nothing new. I've experienced this before. It's just it's coming back to me, and it's just one of those mental battles um, of you can avoid this by just being consistent. Be like, "Up, I follow my rules," um, and that helps, right? That's the whole point of having rules is to help with the mental stability and the emotional stability that is paramount for successful trading. I understand that. This was an adjustment of my own rules that it was just like kind of like the perfect storm, because I'm trying to increase my win percentage here, and because I need to do that for longer term growth. I can't have a 25% win rate. I need that to be closer to like 30 something, 40% win rate. It should be the strategy should be closer to like 40-50% win rate if executed perfectly. But I'm not executing perfectly, and this was one of the adjustments I'm trying to make to execute perfectly, and it just completely backfired. And the price to pay was like the mental bandwidth, emotional bandwidth. So it happens. I'm okay with. I'm gonna definitely do nothing. I'm definitely going to just let this trade, like let it get stopped out. Let these candles proceed to get stopped out, because I think the stop out is still the lesser of two evils. I think there is some evidence that this is counter trend at this point, but there is evidence. These are the ones that I've been the most consistent with. Is like, okay, divergence, cradle the next quarter, the next band, whichever one it is, and that's what this is right now. I'm a little early to the party because the safer thing to do would have been, jump down to the lower time frames, maybe the 15-minute, and be like, okay, is that kind of a kangaroo candle that just finished printing 10 minutes ago? Maybe. Technically, the body is a little too fat. But is this candle gonna be a doji candle that to indicate reversal, and then hopefully we'll see a nice big blue candle to indicate it should go back up here. Um, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I objectively the there's a lot going for me on this trade. Like the it's not technically 10 a.m. 10 a.m. candle would have been this one right here. But sometimes we get those reversals. The industry standard is like the 10 a.m. reversal, but sometimes it comes a little later. Sometimes it comes at 11. Uh, you know, um, so hopefully this candle prints as a bullish engulfing, and I can feel more confident that it'll complete the quarter and be and take me into profit. Um, I think I mentioned this. I think I think I just mentioned this as well, but it's like I'm so close to completing the challenge that I think the pressure of the moment of being so close to completing the challenge is also weighing on um, is also a factor in the adverse reaction. So just kind of have to ignore that, and just kind of take the trade that's in front of me and that's given to me, and that's the lesson for the day.